In this week's bulletin, finding a fair outcome for abuse survivors. Churches impacted by cyclone damage. And two friends separated by war offer forgiveness and comfort.
This is InFocus Christian News and Current Affairs.
Australia's Royal Commission into Institutional Responses to Child Abuse says a coordinated national response to survivors is needed, preferably one coordinated by the federal government. Representatives of a number of organisations that have appeared before the Commission are supportive of the idea, including the YMCA, victim support groups, Aboriginal organisations and the Catholic Church. According to the ABC, a Catholic spokesperson told the Commission that the days of the Church investigating itself are over. Instead, he said the organisations where abuse had occurred should fund a national compensation and support scheme, while the government should administer it. But, according to the ABC, the federal government has rejected the idea, saying it would take too much time and money to set up. The state of Victoria is set to encounter what is becoming a predictable clash of rights as its government prepares to legalise same-sex adoptions. According to The Age, some Christian groups are worried that faith-based adoption agencies will be charged with discrimination if they don't facilitate adoptions with same-sex couples. The Australian Christian Lobby has pointed to overseas adoption agencies that have closed their doors because their practices ran counter to anti-discrimination law. Catholic Care says church-based adoption agencies just want the protection to operate according to their principles. The relief effort is continuing in Vanuatu after Cyclone Pam destroyed homes, infrastructure and crops, affecting more than half the population of the country. Church buildings were not spared by the Category 5 storm, with less sturdy churches blown apart by the strong winds. The Seventh-day Adventist Church in Vanuatu is counting the cost as reports come in from various islands. So far, 18 churches are known to be completely destroyed and 10 damaged. 7 church schools have been destroyed and 7 pastors' homes have been destroyed. For the Adventist Church, the cyclone was badly timed. After record baptisms last year, they were already struggling to fit in all the worshippers.
The extent of the damage that the cyclone has caused is just truly beyond our means. There are people seeing me and talking to me and asking whether the mission will be in some sort of position to actually help. We really don't know where to start, How can you help this church when you have 20 or so other churches lining up, for some sort of help?
Amid the stories of violence and loss in the Middle East, the reunion of 2 school friends has touched the hearts of people around the region. 10-year-olds Miriam and Sandra were among the 50,000 residents of the Assyrian city of Karakosh in Iraq who fled as ISIS militants overran their region. Christian television station Sat7 interviewed Miriam, who impressed the host with her commitment to forgiveness.
أنت حاسة بإيه ناحية الناس اللي ممكن تبقى خرجتك من البيت وتعبتك؟
ما راح أسويهم ولا شيء، بس أقول لله يسامحهم. هوني كان عندي صديقة اسمها ساندرا وكنا أنا وهي كل اليوم مع بعضنا.
عارفة هي فين خالص صح؟
لا.
The interview sparked a search for Miriam's friend, who was eventually found in Lebanon. Sandra seemed overwhelmed to hear her friend's voice. Miriam comforted her in their native language and the language of Jesus, Assyrian.
لا بخيت ساندرا.
طلعي قدامك ساندرا، قدامك هي شايفتك هون.
لا تبكين
ساندرا طلعي قدامك.
صديقتي لا تبكين.
In some parts of the world, church groups are fighting to legally preserve Sunday as a shared day for rest. But an ongoing court battle in Brazil highlights the complications of governments legislating working hours. João Francisco de Nascimento has been operating a petrol station since the year 2000. In all that time, the business is closed every Saturday in keeping with the Fourth Commandment. Mr. Nascimento is a Seventh-day Adventist. His decision has attracted 2 fines from Brazil's oil industry regulator, which enforces a Monday to Saturday working week. According to the Adventist Review, Mr. Nascimento refused to pay the fines and won his first court case on the matter, on religious freedom grounds. The industry regulator has indicated it will appeal the verdict. The success of last year's movie Heaven is for Real has highlighted the popularity of accounts of people who say they've seen heaven. But a major Christian bookstore in the US is less enthusiastic. According to Christianity Today, Lifeway Christian Resources has taken the so-called Heaven Tourism books off the shelves of their 200 stores around America. The move appears to be prompted by a Southern Baptist Convention resolution warning against using popular books and movies to understand the afterlife, rather than the teachings of the Bible. Another factor may be the admission by the co-author of the popular book The Boy Who Came Back from Heaven that he lied about his experience. Despite these setbacks, Heaven Tourism books are still selling strongly. After months of fundraising and renovation, Australian volunteers will soon launch a floating ambulance that will serve the needs of remote villages in Solomon Islands. The new project builds on the success of Medisonship, a mobile clinic service that has been providing vital health services to the Western Solomons, as well as bringing the message of the gospel. Medisonship 2 is a smaller, faster boat that will be able to help in emergencies, bringing first aid to patients quickly and transporting them to the closest clinic or hospital. The plan to christen the boat by cracking a couple of coconuts against the hull didn't quite go to plan, but everything else appears to be shipshape. And that's the news for this week. Thanks so much for watching. Have a blessed Easter, and I'll see you next time.